Welcome back to the episode of
Sold.
RJ, how's Phoenix?
It's still fine.
Great. Okay, so this week on Fantasy Boys.
How's it in Chicago? I've only heard that it is like beautiful now in Chicago.
She's gorgeous. Famously, June is the best month in Chicago. It's the greatest month of the year.
Because it's June. Just because it's June.
We start this episode.
It's live, girlies.
She is live. We didn't think it would be. I doubted them, but they proved me wrong. How do we feel about the live studio audience for basically what is just an elimination episode?
I mean, they were literally just there to like be hype and like scream and shout. But they weren't even like screaming and shouting that much, and you couldn't really even hear them. So it was very interesting.
Was this worth it? Is my question.
It was because they were like, we're going to be live because Dancing with the Stars style, you have between now until it's time to announce the results to vote.
There was live voting.
Put in those text votes because they are worth a lot.
The text votes, I'm assuming, you were only able to text vote if you were in Korea, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Singular, AT&T Wireless, T-Mobile.
Centennial Wireless. Shout out to the girls. Shout out to the Nokia girlies playing Snake on their parents' phone in 2001.
Shout out to T9 Girl.
It was like predictive text. It was brilliant.
Because I grew up a Nokia girly, and in the Philippines, we abbreviated everything. We were giving, oh, are you late too? Like, that was how we texted each other.
I mean, I'm sure T9 did not work as well if you were texting in Tagalog.
We would always say, where na you? So where are you? And then your response would be, here na me. I'm here. It's just funny to me.
Ba 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 ba.
Ba 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 ba. Ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba. Shout out to the Filipino girlies. They get that joke. They start off and they do this really weird thing at the top where they're like, say a one sentence thing about like your time and pleading to stay.
Well, first of all, Usok was nervous and like forgot his line.
Usok forgot? Yeah.
He literally was like, thank you for being here. I will make sure to be a great idol. And runs. It was giving me a little bit of pageantry, but I wish they were a little happier and more excited. But I think it's still part of the whole, you have to show how seriously you want to be an idol. Like that's kind of part of the whole mechanics of earning votes.
Like explain, give one sentence about what you've been doing on the show. For people just tuning in for the first time. And haven't been watching Boys Love Fantasy Boys.
Yes. For the people who have this is the first episode they're going to watch. They think this is a 2-episode event. This episode and then 2 weeks from now. Give them a reason why they should vote for you.
What? Okay, so my challenge to you, RJ, is do this one line about yourself.
여러분. 보고 싶었어요. And to all of my Filipino fans, mahal ko kayo! I am your lovely main vocalista, RJ. Please vote for me. Vote, vote, vote.
And then he went home at the end of the episode. It's really crazy. Mine would be like Adam, the
white one.
The funny, loud white guy on the show. Please vote for me, and I promise to. I love when they say, I promise to give you better stages in the future. Ah!
I love it. It's so good.
That is the only time men have never lied to me, is when idols promise that they will give me better stages in the future.
Because they do.
Thank you, men.
And I think it's about time for us to come forward and say, we support men.
As men's rights activists. That's a joke.
That's a joke.
Joke. I really liked Caden's. I wrote that down. I don't even now after 2 hours ago from watching. I don't remember what it was, but it's just is so clearly learning Korean while he's on the show. He sounded so like child speaking, like learning Korean for the first time. It was very cute. And immediately they're like, well, here's the nominees for the 20th spot.
As of now, before
the live voting starts. Yeah.
And it's like 5 people, right?
Yes, girl.
Insane.
It's Irang, Jino, Yuma, Kaden, and Saki. So they literally just went to Boys Love Fantasy Boys and they were like, who is Adam talked about that he likes on the show?
Yes. Who are the girls?
Let's make them.
Within that list, that's 2 kids, a mom.
Yes.
Variety King. And Saki, I think, is a little baby girl. I think that's what I've deduced.
BBG.
Now, when they showed those 5, did you have an inkling or feeling that like most of them will be saved? Or did you think like they're probably going to be the ones that won't make it?
Because they were doing it for the live voters, I had a feeling, I didn't know who was going to like get saved, but I was like, oh, there's going to be like a few of them are going to move up into like 1918. Spoiler alert, what ends up happening? Because that's how they like set it up. That's why they do those before like they reveal the potentials but right before.
So let's talk about snacks. I have my snacks here.
She's back with the nuts.
Some garlic roasted nuts. I mean, you might be confused because it's in a peanut brittle container because we'd throw no containers in this house away, as you know, from living with me.
It's the immigrant experience, baby.
Yes. You never know. I need a plastic tub.
What's in that country crock tub?
Adobo. They
reveal that in the group with all the boys in the room when the producers were drafting their teams, Bomjoon was the last one picked, even though he was not the last one picked when they actually drafted the teams. Yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes. It was between Kaden and Bomjoon in the announcing of the groups. Even though...
The announcing of the groups.
Even though in the actual drafting of the groups... Drafting of the groups. It was really only Kaden that was in the last names. Continually perpetuating this experience for Bomjoon that no one likes him.
I really hope Bomjoon has, like, someone to talk to after the show. While I think there's probably some things he does need to work on with his, like, interpersonal, like, relationship skills and the way he, like, his communication style, maybe.
Yeah.
This show, I think, went out of its way to not even villainize him, but like be mean to him at points. Yeah. When they were deciding who was going to do the relay race, he was like, yeah, I'm like physical or whatever. And they're like, there's this like dum 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 music. And I was like, you are so evil to this man. He's doing nothing. He's trying to be like, yeah, I'm like athletic or whatever.
Yeah, I play soccer.
And they truly treated it as if he was like, and here comes Dingus over here. And I was like, what the fuck?
Later, when they figure out what the two songs are, it looks like he's like friends with like Jino and...
He has friends. They all have friends on the show.
Yes.
It's so crazy that they're like, here's the weird loner wearing his trench coat to school. Like, what the fuck is this narrative?
I know. You see in today's episode that, like, you could tell he's like, I'm probably not going to make it, and that's okay. Like, I'm just going to have a good time.
I wouldn't say he decided he was going to have a good time, but I would say as soon as they announced who was in the potential for the 20th spot, he was like, well, I guess I'll watch or whatever.
Yeah. This was the only episode that we really got within the show, like actual personalities, like fun personalities that I was like, well, why are you doing it now when you're getting rid of like...
It may have turned me around on somebody. I'll say that. I will say there is a turn in... there is a reveal, not a reveal, but in this episode I felt like...
Reveal yourself!
Laganja. I felt like in this episode they gave like a narrative to somebody who I had just been complaining about that they have not given a narrative to on the show. And then like we got to see them have emotion for the first time. And I was like, this is what that's what I've been asking for. Thank you so much. Snacks gets drafted. Woo Young is like, this is gonna be really hard for Kaden. Calls him out straight in the like first time they meet for the song. He's like, Kaden, this is gonna be very hard for you. I want to make that very clear.
You're probably gonna have a really hard time, so just write that in your journal now. You're gonna struggle
throughout. Kaden previously in previous semesters, he's not confident at all to like do some of the things that he was being asked to do.
I do wonder if it's like I see Gyure, who also feels like he doesn't have the skills yet, but because he's so popular, he's having to be forced to do these things. That I do wonder for Kaden, it's like, I don't want to even put myself in that situation. Like I would much rather just like be here for the experience, but not like potentially make a fool out of myself, because I think he's probably seen too much of that already.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's also 13. And then there's a moment where Myungjae is teaching Kaden the song, which I loved this moment, mostly because Myungjae has such a deep resonant bass tone, which is awesome. And he was trying to like help Kaden kind of develop that. And I was like, sweetheart, Kaden is truly, I'm not kidding, in the middle of puberty right now. Like this is not
the voice that he's gonna get in a year.
Well, they have their midterm, and then Woo Young is like, that was great. I have no notes. Overall, I think he must have been very impressed, and it seemed like they were very solid. I wouldn't say it's a melodically difficult song to sing.
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't say it's a very difficult song, period. So
they go to JYP for the midterm. Can you explain to me why at JYP Entertainment they have a mural of Madonna and Michael Jackson on the wall?
And Marilyn Monroe? It's giving like trendy boutique hotel of just like put giant Audrey Hepburn on them,
you went to a hotel in LA, and the theme of the theme, by the way,
is Hollywood.
Is Hollywood. Yeah.
You have global stars.
What are you doing? It was so weird, especially because when we went to YG, they had the moment where they showed the winner video on the big screen, and we're like celebrating like their own actual talent, where JYP was like,
we're really inspired by Madonna's
in the recording studio, like there was Stevie Wonder on the wall, and I was like, if Stevie Wonder has been to Korea, I will be shocked. I just was like, what are we doing? This is so weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. It feels very like, it feels like trying to be like an LA, or like we're global, or we're American. But I would much rather be like, you have literal global superstars in JYP.
Massive talent.
I would put a
huge talent at JYP.
I would make all of the recording studios an individual Twice member. Like, oh, I'm recording at the Momo room today.
Hello.
Mama.
Hello.
We're at the Jonghyun room tonight, baby. Like
iconic. Named after every song. Alcohol free.
I'm at the alcohol
recording studio.
Hi, I'm making a meeting invite, and we will be meeting at the alcohol free meeting room.
Conference room.
Yes.
So one of his notes during the recording, which I felt was glossed over quickly, because this would have crippled my anxiety for the next like 3 weeks. He literally says to Taeseon, it sounded like you were reading a book.
I know!
And I was like, that is the meanest thing I've ever heard. Now, in Taeseon's defense, this song is sung at one note.
Yeah.
The whole song. Da, 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 snacks.
Yes.
Where is the melody?
Where's the melody?
Searching for a melody. Can we find it?
But I think Taeseon's main criticism is that he's very solemn, stoic, safe, like sometimes really too one note.
Yeah.
But I understand why he would have said that. He's probably seen that throughout the show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this song specifically is like, it's not really melodic.
It's a dance. It's just a dance.
Yeah.
With some words that are said. Also, junwon is sick. So at this point, I am about to reach out to Seoul Child Protective Services, because we need to get where is OSHA? Okay, why are they dropping left and right, getting sick every damn day?
No, we should have given them rooms, because if someone was sick, quarantine them, like let them sleep, let them rest.
Let them heal.
Because I feel like with the open concept, it's just like
that's not even the only one that this happens to, because Santa later isn't in the drafting of the songs because he's out sick as well.
I know. I'm really worried for Santa, because I think they've already posted. I'm so worried
for Santa. I can't.
I think they're trying to string him along till the end because they know how many people vote for him.
But baby girl, we're not gonna follow the group. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
We would roll over if you had allowed us to be charmed by these contestants throughout the course of the show. But you have withheld so much from the show proper. I can't. Woo Young buys them pizza and pasta, and they have like a little pizza party, which is Caden's 13. It's his dream. I mean, my God.
His eyes lit up. He was
this is 8th grade, honey. So they get so excited about the pizza that Woo Young he looks at the staff and he's like, looks like you guys, you don't feed these guys. And Caden goes, correct.
No. Correct.
You know what? Put more Americans on these shows because they will act out of pocket and they will just say things. So it's fun in that regard. Okay, let's talk about the performance. This is not a good song. However, I might say it's my favorite performance because they seem the most together. They seem the most hitting all the steps like full out. Everybody's like engaged. There's not a concept of the song, so they don't really have to, as long as they're just like bopping and having fun, they're fine. junwon is celebrating Pride because he has a rainbow on his shirt. I did absolutely clock that. I'm not going to lie. Like I was like, and on the first day of Pride, and we celebrate you, junwon. What did you think of this performance?
I agree. The song is not great. The costumes were not too great as well, honestly. Like, it felt too hodgepodge. That I was almost like, if the song's about snacks, so it's like evoking like maybe boyish charms because it's, we love bugles. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really match what I'm kind of, I don't know. It just didn't feel cohesive.
Not my favorite. It was not my favorite song. They did a good job with what they were given. It's like when there's like groups on Drag Race and they have to do a song or whatever. And you're like, oh, this song is objectively worse. But then they kind of like pull it off because they just try harder.
Or that they just, have junwon and Lingchi who will never disappoint.
Can I just say... I want to go watch junwon's fan cam like 100 times because he's so good.
He's so good.
When he does the like hold the mic thing, which everyone is always blown away by. I love that it's like a through line on these shows of like somebody holds a mic a different way and they're like, what?
진짜로?
진짜?
It's so daebak.
Honestly, say that. He's so cool, and his normal personality is so not cool. I actually loved when he did his little one line at the beginning of the show, and he was like, "Hi, I'm junwon. I'm super shy, but I change when I'm on stage." And I was like, I mean, that really does sum it up. That he really nailed it. I gotta say.
I thought it was Lingchi and junwon, like by a mile.
Yeah, I think Caden also does a really good job in this song, and
this is Caden's best, obviously.
Oh, easily.
And honestly, I think it is because he was able to like own that line, and he was able, like, this is the most he's done in a song too.
Yeah, he basically got the chorus.
Yeah, that I think really helped him be like, oh, okay, I can actually like space in a group number and like be a center.
And listen, for him, the song's about snacks.
Find the pieces that are relatable to you that you can emotionally connect to. And I think Caden really did the work here with the text.
I also think Myungjae did a really good job.
It is fun now that they kind of have really sealed the deal of like, this is what he's going to give, and let's just give him that every time he does a song.
It's hard because Myungjae and Hyungun kind of are like two opposite sides of the same coin, and I do think Myungjae does better in this song than Hyungun does, but like there's really not anyone that does poorly in this number. In terms of like overall performance, they're all pretty just like competent and or good. So the audience vote comes back. In 7th place is Hyungun, 6 is Seungyeon, 5 is Myungjae, 4 is taeseon, 3 is Caden, which leaves 2 and 1 to either be Lingchi or junwon. Number 1 does go to junwon. It's his first win on the show.
Win.
which is insane.
He keeps being put up against like Songmin.
He's like over the moon about it. They're so happy for him. They all like crowd around him and give him a hug. It's very sweet. This is like why he's like such a great character in terms of like the person you want to win the overall show. Like his narrative of like humble king, because he like they ask him to say something after he wins first. You fixing your hair?
Yeah. You were saying?
They asked him to say something after he wins first place, and he was like, I really wish I could share this with everybody because I think we all deserved the first spot. Like, we all were so good, da-da-da. No one's, like, said that. They've all just been like, thank you, I'll work harder in the future or whatever, but...
I promise to give you better stages the next time, yeah.
The true promise that men make. So I thought that was great. And then they asked Ling Chi, and he was like, I'm just so happy for junwon. I'm so happy for him. And I was like, boo!
Also, the long game of Ling Chi being like, it's mashisoyo, not moshisoyo. And then now it's finally like, it is mashisoyo, girl. I've been telling you, I am tasty. We are tasty.
And then Woo Young ends up picking Myungjae for his producer pick.
Which, I mean, I agree. I think like he had very signature parts that were for him that I could tell put in that position because of like how he's really embodied the song. They're like, let's amp it up.
So then they reveal that the team that wins overall the semifinals is Spaceman. They received the most amount of votes. I don't understand. Did people just not vote? Like, none of it makes sense, but that's who won. So congrats to Team Soyeon. Who would you have picked?
I probably would have played the game and also voted for Soyeon because they had the most people that I was rooting for. In my opinion, voted for who I thought was the best. I would have voted for Hold Tightly or whatever.
Hold Me Tight.
Hold Me Tight.
I think I would have voted for Run. I think they were the highest in terms of like all the things were hitting for me. So then they say the final mission is going to be 2 teams, and the final number of trainees heading into the finals will be 20 trainees. So it's going to be 2 groups of, it's going to be 2 groups. I was going to say it's 2 groups of 10, but LOL. And what's going to happen is the two people who are on top, who could they be, are going to be the team captains for the 2 different teams, and they are going to select. It's Songmin and junwon. So, the rivals, RIVALZ. So they play rock, paper, scissors to find out who is going to draft first, since junwon. Slay King. And here is who junwon drafts for his team. Hanbin Hikaru Hikari, Jaemin Gyure Hyunbin, Wooseok Bomjun, Taeseon Daehyeon, Santa, Jino, and Yuma. The last one he chooses for his team is Santa. Probably because they forgot that Santa needed to be picked.
He was sick. He wasn't in the room. And I think as they were getting less and less people, that's when
started saying like, you still have to pick Santa.
You still have to pick Santa, by the way. He's still here.
Because I don't think they like dislike. I think probably they may have picked him earlier if they had remembered, because
he's very popular.
Songmin, on the other hand, gets everybody else, which for those of you not keeping track, the other 13 people he got are Minso, Lingchi, hyeontae, Hyunwoo, Myungjae, Seokki, Sungkyun, K-Sol, Hayato, Irang, Daehyeon, Kanan, and Hyungun.
And Daehyeon was last.
And he was last, because they picked Santa before they picked Daehyeon, so he was like alone. I
mean, it doesn't feel good because I think also they said people might be eliminated. So it's giving Switch Supercharger all over again of like, I don't blame you. I probably won't even make it. But it's that idea of like, now everyone knows and is thinking about it. And it's just like validating like, yeah, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah. The 2 songs that they are going to choose between are called Gesture and Shut Off. Gesture is more of like a sexier sound, more R&B influenced. And Shut Off is more just like dance pop. What would you pick if you were Sungmin or junwon?
Girl, it's Shut Off for me, girl.
See, I liked Shut Off more, but you know what? I would have picked Gesture because the sexy song always ends up winning.
That's true.
It very was giving Over Me. So in order to decide which team gets what song, they're going to do an Olympics day. It's field day.
Finally! Something fun. And look, them forming a team and then running across the street, that is an element of variety, That's not enough. Give me competition.
Also, no, it's not. You're just running to a place. That's not
running.
variety. You're just running. And some of the groups were like, oh, we only need one person to get there. So we'll send one person to run and then we'll stroll behind them.
We got a little bit of like, okay, what are people's like random special skills? This is the first time I've remembered knowing that like Sunghyun served in the military already. And so like they did a little title card of him being like, he should be strong. And then when they were doing the relay race, like all of the people who used to be athletes, like fun. And Yuma cheering in the back because he's like, I'm not going.
Never lifted, never played a sport a day in her life. She's busy having kids. So they play 3 games. They do a tug of war. Junwon's team wins in 23 seconds, which is so funny because they really draw it out. They make you think it's a lot longer of a game, and it is not.
They had all the men on their team. They had daehyeon.
Yes. They said daehyeon is like a personal trainer, which is so funny to me.
I thought that was so
Sungmin
funny.
said that.
They were like, he's basically a personal trainer.
Sungmin has a bunch of funny bits during this, actually. I was asking for this. Thank you. In the relay race, Sungmin's team ends up winning because they're running on, I don't know, the slipperiest concrete I've ever seen. I was so nervous watching them run on this.
It felt like it was like laminated for some reason.
Well, you know, our brittle ancient bones, RJ. We would break so quickly. You know what's funny is they were like, oh, Daeyeon's got to do this. I would not pick the big muscly dude to fucking run.
And you can tell he was like slower.
Somebody should have been like, do you actually do cardio? And he would have said no. And it's fine. But like, there's no way. He's not a runner. You need... Myungjae looked incredible. Also funny that it was Myungjae who was like the fastest because I was like, girl, I hope you have your little nebulizer.
Girl, you better get the albuterol out. It was funny watching them try to figure out who the runners were, and a lot of them were like, you know, played soccer, so they were kind of giving it to them. Hikari, Bomjun, Hikaru, Songmin even. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Miss Bomjun fumbled the baton.
She did. She fumbled the baton. She kind of like tossed it, but
Well, he kind of tossed it, which made Hikari like trip and fall, I think, trying to catch it.
Yeah, he like jerked back to catch it, and then like it
fell.
Just because the ground was very slippery again.
And then Myungjae just like once the baton is passed, Myungjae literally is like full
coasting
road runner.
Yeah. Yes. Beep beep.
Beep beep. I'm gonna say something.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Don't be horny. Please don't be horny. Don't be horny on Maine. About who? I need to know before I include it in the show.
Bomjun.
Oh, fine. That's fine.
I don't know. Something about Bomjun in this episode with the white shirt and his little silver chain that I was like, oh. And the way he smiles, it's always like, he does this. He does a full tooth smile and then like kind of shirks one side over that I'm like, ooh.
I love that for you. If there was anyone that I've watched on a survival show that gave off energy where they would not want to be enjoyed by a male person, I do think it is Bomjun.
Yeah, and I think that's why. I think it's the trauma.
Oh God, RJ. Jesus. Anyway, they play the fucking chicken fight, the one-leg chicken fight game, and Junwon's team wins.
Because it's so dumb, because I guess the chicken fight game technically is like you have to, unless you knock off the prince or whatever. Hyungun was the prince on Sungmin's team or something?
I think so.
And so it was like over, and I was like,
it was over as soon as it started, and I was like, oh, okay.
Give us Boys Planet shenanigans where it's like you have to snatch off a wig, baby.
You have to snatch off a wig. You got to pull pants up with your teeth. Like, I want to see fun and frivolity. Cut back to the live episode. They bring out Junwon's team since they had won two of the three. And they ask him what song their team had chosen for the final. It's Gesture.
He's doing Sexy.
Yeah. Let's move straight to the The Elims. Number 19 is Saki. Did you catch this moment?
Yes, because I think in the taping versions, they made everyone like reach the microphone and say something. But I think since this was the first time they did it live, Saki goes up to grab the mic and like producers.
But the
were
mic
like,
was also just like sitting right
in a
there.
pedestal,
So it was
yes.
so clear that they were going to use it. So I'm sure he was just like, oh, I'm going for it. And he was fully like, go to your seat.
keep going.
Go to your seat, girl. It's so awkward. Number 18 is Kaden. So also got a boost from finding out that he was in danger. And 17 is Yuma.
Literally, Kaden, Saki, and Yuma were like,
yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, we're so happy. Like, fully just bouncing up and down. That I was like, in Boys Planet, we didn't really get, because it wasn't live, obviously, like, we didn't really get their, like, genuine reactions because they would always cut to, like, either, like, the solemn hugs or like them sitting, but it just felt, I don't know, maybe it's just the combination of these three, that it just felt really fun and like I'm watching three genuine people be so excited. It's the live aspect of like them genuinely just running up to each other and jumping up and down.
Because all the yes, I see what you're saying, because all of the eliminations we got were edited. After Yuma, number 16 is Daehyun.
Low.
He dropped I think 3 spots. Number 15 is Gyude.
I mean, okay. I don't think it's a shock that we're not big fans of Gyude debuting in the 12.
We're pro Gyude. We are anti Gyude debuting.
Yes.
Currently.
We are pro Gyude as a talent and has potential. I just need a few more years. Baby girl.
Number 14 is hyeontae. Oh, hyeontae.
This I was surprised because I really did think that he's gonna.
I thought he was too.
I mean, remember when hyeontae was 3rd?
Yes, I remember when I was there.
We've been watching the show every week.
Actually, I've been watching every week, RJ. I didn't know if you knew. Hyeontae's 14. Hyunbin is 13. So also someone who fell out of the top 12.
I know. At this point, I was like, oh, there's gonna be either new people or just like I don't know what to expect anymore for this 12.
Number 12 is Santa.
I mean, he's still in there.
The way no one in the audience clapped.
Did
know. You clock that?
It was silent.
Silent. And I think there was some kind of noise suppression on the audio.
Yes,
because
yeah.
like even when you heard it, it was like so quiet. And I was like, they must be louder than I think they are.
Yeah.
But like the shot of him walking up to the stage, they were showing the audience and like 3 girls were like, the vibes are rancid.
And at this point, I almost just want Santa to be in this group just to prove a point that like
I'm so thank you for saying this. I am so conflicted about this because this group is multiple people that I really want to see debut in this group. Like I have a genuine investment, not financial, but I have a personal investment in them debuting in this group because I've spent so much time with the show and I like them. There is no way this group is going to be super successful. And not that I don't think you have to be super successful in order to like be fulfilled as an artist or whatever. My bigger concern is like, because they won't be super successful, their management company might treat them like shit. And then like, that's its own issue.
If he doesn't make it, and if he still wants to act, I mean, who knows? But also in Thailand, I do feel like a lot of the actors can still be like singers and dancers and like be an idol. So if anything, it's gotten him fans that will like support him wherever he ends up going. I
will support Santa wherever he ends up going. I love this man. I love this man. 11 is Minsaw.
Okay.
Great. He's back in the 12. He was 13. He went up to 11. We love to see it. Good job. Do you think that's because he had such a positive storyline from the last episode? I think so.
The he got votes.
10 is Jamin. Big week for me and Jamin.
Know.
Big week for me and Jamin. All Jamins.
All
the Jamins.
Because there is one Jamin right now. My God.
I actually won't be speaking on that. I'm choosing to not speak on that.
To like say on Bubble, like, wow, y'all really like my tits, huh?
Number 9 is Taeseon.
No, even I feel like the 6, 7, 8, 9. I feel like is always like a constant, like just rotating the same people.
Mm-hmm. Number 8 is Hanbin, Lee Hanbin. So he went back up.
Back up, because he won like 3 benefits.
Yes, and still only got to 8, which I think is interesting. Which makes me nervous about him actually debuting, to be honest.
I know.
Number 7 is Lingchi. Number 6 is Hikari. Number 6 is Hickory. Mm-hmm. Number 5 is K-Sol. I don't understand how he...
I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Listen. We understand that he sucks.
I have seen Korean fans get rid of contestants for much less than what K-Sol has done.
Literally.
That is where I'm like, I am less, whatever about his ranking. It's more just like, this would be like if Christian, if they villainized Christian the way they did on Boys Planet, and then the next week he was like in the top 10.
Yeah.
It would be like, what?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's inherently a bad person or anything. I just think he's like messy. And usually the Korean fans are like, we don't want messy. We want idol. But it's not even like he's super
charming and like warm and like inviting.
No.
I know.
I'm so fascinated
so
by it.
confusing.
Okay, 4, Hikaru. 3 is Usak. I want to know who's voting for Woosak too.
Again, girls, he is very charming. Honestly, he gives me like Boy Next Door.
He is
like,
so relatable.
Yes,
100%.
People vote for different reasons, but yeah, it's crazy that Usak is as high as he is because it's not like amazing what we see on stage. I really think he is getting through because he is such a like charmer and really relatable. It feels like your neighbor who has always sung and danced growing up is now finally on a reality show and he could be an idol. So you're just like, well, I just, I really want to root for the guy. Yeah.
So that leaves number 1 to either be, this is the gag and the goop. It's either Songmin or junwon. We're shocked. We're blown away. It's not Bomjun and Irang for 2 and 1. We had no idea it could come down to Songmin and junwon.
I really thought it was going to be Bomjun and Irang.
I hate to say it. I actually hate to say it. We finally, after a 10-minute back and forth camera to camera, I'm not kidding, I just started checking my phone during this like zoom in on different people. Mm-hmm. We reveal that junwon has finally won first place.
Now, are you scared because he finally won first place here that he's not going to be one in the final?
No, because I don't care.
They're going to make the group.
They're both in the group.
Unless number 1 is Lingchi, I don't give a fuck.
And we don't even know. It's not even like on Boys Planet where they were like, and you're going to get an original song, and you're definitely the center of the group, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We just know that you won position 1. That's all we know. I'm thrilled for junwon. I just think he's so humble and like really talented. I love this reveal earlier in the episode that he kind of like isn't a great speaker. Like he gets so nervous that he like can't really form sentences that well. I think that's really charming.
That little clip of Myungjae like telling him to finish the sentence, and everyone was like, he's acting like he's a foreigner.
Yes, it's so cute. My God. I like the little rivalry. It's so funny how different the vibes are between Boys Planet and Fantasy Boys. Because like...
there was a marriage at the end of Boys Planet.
Right, like Boys Planet...
And I'm not getting that... I'm not getting that they're gonna like... It doesn't feel like the end game will be like, we are gonna be a team. It really feels like they are just going for
that's the
like
one
number
thing.
1, Kelly Clarkson, who is gonna be the winner.
Who is Kelly and who is Justin Guarini?
Yeah.
And they ask Sungmin, like, you've only had 6 people from your team make it. How do you feel? And they flash back to a little bit of like them rehearsing or whatever. And they do the thing that happened also in Boys Planet where the like the lower ranked ones are like do the gallows humor of like in order to contextualize that there is a distinct possibility that they are going home. They're going to like make jokes out of it so that it hurts less when the inevitable happens. It is not similar like Umuti where he gets like Sungmin's upset about it. I think he's just bummed in general. But I do like that Sungmin did not choose a group, and I don't think this is what junwon was doing, but I like that he was like, I was thinking about their actual skills when I was forming my team. I was not just thinking of who's gonna probably stay.
I think that it started that way for Junwon, and I think as more people was in his team, they were kind of coaxing him like, you should pick Santa because he's more popular. You should do this or that.
Yeah.
That I think Songmin stuck to his instincts more of like, I want to pick people that I feel like will be like, we are all even and that we can collectively as a team do a good performance.
Yeah, I think so too.
I will say the difference with the Umuti and Songmin thing is that I felt Umuti, probably because he's been here for a while, that he was able to like be more of a leader and be like, I understand this is how you feel, but we still need to work together because if there's a chance that anyone is here, I don't want people to be unprepared or disrespect the people who made this song and feel like we don't care.
Right.
As opposed to Songmin, I think they did show it. I don't know, but in what we've seen, he just kind of like internalized it and makes sense later when you find out who 20 is. He is very emotional about it.
So the candidates now that Kaden, Seoki, and Yuma have moved up, the candidates for 20th spot are Jinho, Hyungun, and Myungjae. It ends up going to Jinho, who is on Junwon's team.
Who would you have picked?
I think I would have picked Myungjae because I actually thought he did really well during Snacks.
I would have picked Jinho.
And at this point, they show Sungmin like crying because and like, I was like, oh, like it was very. I was happy to see. That sounds crazy, but like it was such a raw moment of vulnerability that we have not gotten from him in any way because he's been so calm, cool, and collected the whole show. And not in like a standoffish way, but just like in a way of like, I know I'm making it to the end. So
I know I'm
don't
making
really need
it.
to be worried.
I'm trained for like this situation. Like I know what I'm supposed to do. He let himself kind of be more emotional probably in that last process to be a leader for that group. And I think like the reality hit for him that like, I feel like now I've set up my group maybe not in the best position because we have to reorganize. We probably have to re-choreograph because it's not clear. It's not like Switch and Supercharger where they have to move people over. I think they have to perform.
I think it's now a group of 7 and a group of 13.
13, yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know. I mean, to me, I feel like I hope they get like the silver lining that like with a 7-member number, I hope they like really use that for their advantage, give people more time, and like make everyone stand out.
Well, should we go into our 12s?
Sure. I did not change anyone in my 12. I just changed the order probably of like how I pictured this last dream ideal group, because for next week's episode, we're going to specifically do predictions. Since this is the same 20 that we're going to get anyway to the finale. Mm-hmm. In P12, position 12, is Songmin. She's low. I get that. I understand. He's still on the team. Mm-hmm. I am curious to see like how he does, as feels like to me genuinely challenged now. Like a genuine like hurdle that he has to go through with a new configuration of this team. And I'm still in the same camp of like, he's still very talented. I still think Deja Vu is probably his best performance so far, but like he has the makings of being
an idol. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, my least excited about in my 12, but that's okay. Number 11 is Yuma. Mama made it. Mm-hmm. Number 10 is Moon Hyun Bin. Mama also made it. Mm-hmm. Number 9 is Seoki. Vocal Mama made it. Mm-hmm. Number 8 is Minso. Kendo Mama. She made it. Number 7 is Santa. Mullets out of here, baby. And we're very
absolutely
and we have to celebrate that.
Absolutely way too low, but that's fine.
I know. Okay, yes, I know. It is way too low. But this is reflective of how conflicted I am.
On Pride? In Pride Month? Disgusting. In the bottom 6?
In the bottom 6?
How dare you?
Top Santa? You put him in the bottom
6? Jesus.
How dare you?
No, we're not doing that.
Okay, number 6 is Hikaru. Number 5 is Jino. I've kind of fallen for him.
This is the first episode I noticed his ears are different.
Number 4 is Lee Han-bin. I'm keeping him in there. Number 3, Kang Dae-hyun. Number 2, Yoo Junwon. Number 1 is Ling Chi. I'm back on my Ling Chi train.
You're back on your bullshit.
I think him being like, I am tasty. It's what I eat up in the cheeks. If I ever get a high touch with Ling Chi, all I would literally want to do is do this to him. Just
bang.
Yeah, I wanna put here, like, can you give me bread? And he'll go, oh, and I would be so happy.
That's great. Congratulations. My turn. In 12, I have Songmin. Which is why I made that face when you were like...
I thought you made that face because I assumed that he was higher in your group now because of,
No, for the exact same reason.
Emotions.
He's of the 12, he's the one I'm least excited about. But I think I want him.
Not to the fault of him. It's just like, I think the show is perfectly happy with him not really showing a lot.
MBC, do you see how you gave him a moment of vulnerability and then all of a sudden he's on my 12? Look at that. Look at God. Number 11 I have is Lee Han-bin. He was also missing from my 12 last week, which I did not realize until I was editing the episode, and I was like, oh. Number 10 is hyeontae.
hyeontae.
I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I wish I could explain it.
But I genuinely, in my group, I did not have Hikari, hyeontae, taeseon, and someone else I can't remember now. That I was genuinely trying to be like, I want to fit them in, but I also feel like they might have a really good shot in actually making it. So I would much rather just keep this like who I would really want in a dream scenario.
So you were considering making a 15-person group, is what you're saying? You think 12 is too few?
Yeah. No, like have to force myself to pick other people, like swap them out.
Oh, I see.
hyeontae is insanely talented for his age.
Good. I know. He's like, only going to get better.
I know that I'm like, it's giving a little Nicki moment of like, if you're an ace. It's giving a
Nicki. It's giving
like
a Jungkook. It's giving, it's just, when someone is that young but that talented and like, it's not just raw, it's like actually like, there's real polish to it. Yeah, it's so impressive. And
it's like unique. Like he's a breakdancer. There's something that he's giving that no one else is giving. And very, I mean, I'm comparing him to like a Kaden and a Guri. Kaden more specifically because like even in Kaden's like talking heads, he's like, I guess like I probably wasn't doing well because I'm like nervous. And I'm like, okay, so you like don't even know like how to like be able to carry yourself, you know, and like process that. Unlike hyeontae, which I feel is a cultural thing, but hyeontae, it feels like so well packaged and like prepared already.
Number 9, I have is Saki. I just think he has really nice vocals. I really want to hear them. Number 8 is Hikaru. Number 7 is Daehyeon. Number 6 is Minsa, Kendo King.
Your Kongs.
Yes, absolutely. Number 5
I'm sure there's going to be another Kong in here.
Number 5 is Jaemin. Well, yep, all in a row. Number 4 is Yuma. Number 4 is Yuma. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops.
Also, it's Pride Month.
Also, they tried to set Yuma up. Like, during the episode, they were like, so this is the amount of people from junwon's team, and this is the amount of people from Sungmin's team that have been saved so far. Yuma, were you expecting that? And he was like, I was like, how dare you? And you know what she said? She was like, I didn't even think I was going to make it, so I'm just happy to see as many people get saved as possible. And that is how you win a pageant. That is how you win a pageant. Number 3 is Junwon. Number 2 is Lingchi.
Here we
And
go.
numero uno.
Is
Ho, ho, ho. It's Santa.
Christmas in July, baby.
Christmas in July.
I do love that Santa in his, because you know how they do selfies all the time on Twitter. He will put a Santa emoji at every tweet, baby. Branding.
And that's it. A much shorter episode than last time. We love to see it.
I'm very excited to see what happens to the eliminated girlies. I am genuinely sad for like Hyunwoo, who I thought was really talented, but never really got a good like a
Hyunwoo
featured
and
shining
Sunghyun,
moment.
I feel like, are the two that I'm like, they just were never really shown.
They were never really shown, but I could tell they're real. I mean, they're really talented. Irang also is very talented, but I think he maybe a little bit more baking. I think just more like confidence, I think. And
I think he is someone who is going to grow into his facial features, and
Yeah,
it's going to be very
totally.
beneficial for him.
yeah, I agree. He still is a little too like baby faced. Like him
he
and
just
Kaden,
has like
I feel
really
like.
big eyes, but like it doesn't all match yet.
Yeah, and Bumjun, I mean, we'll see what he's gonna do. I hope he, goes to maybe some seminars of like interpersonal working relationships, maybe.
Communication skills.
Yeah.
Maybe he should just be a rapper.
And honestly, that's okay too.
And that's
girl.
okay too.
Do your own thing.
All right, well, bye.